Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brianna and I'm a third grade teacher in North Carolina. I have taught 2 years in fourth grade and now I've taught 4 years in third grade. I've been MIA. I used to make weekly videos all the time consistently and I love it so much. I love just like reflecting with you guys, chatting with you guys, tossing ideas back and forth, the collaboration, everything about it. But, you know, teaching just like consumed me this year, like mentally, physically, like overwhelmingly, drainingly, but like in a good way also, like not totally terrible. So I'm here today to answer your questions, to update y'all on where I've been, and to tell you where we're going next, I guess. So if you're interested in finding all that out, then just keep on watching. Alrighty, so I asked y'all on my Instagram to ask me questions for this little update video. So if you're not following me there, make sure you are. Again, I'm hoping to like get everything up and running again because like I said, I love sharing with y'all. It inspires me and it keeps me going. So I really need that. A great way to start off this video. What was your biggest obstacle that you had to overcome this school year? I don't know about y'all, and I feel like I haven't talked about it in so long, but the maturity of these children is so behind. If there is any impact on COVID that I have seen and that like my coworkers and I agree on, it is the maturity of the children, their independence, their constant need for attention. Gosh, that was like one of the most overwhelming parts. My relationships this year with my students were the best they've ever been. Like, I love these babies so incredibly dearly, but their neediness was unlike any other. Like, I felt like I had a third grade class of kindergartners and it was tough. It was so tough. I've never had kids like whine so much about needing snack, or just their stamina with reading was just not where it needs to be. And I mean, obviously we expected all of these things, but like, I don't know, it was just so different, and it was just really draining because I wanted to be there for them and I wanted to be that person for them, to give them that attention that they need and deserve, but also I tried to pull away and give them a bit of that responsibility to take on and independence on their own. And I mean, third grade's a big year for that regardless. People ask me all the time like if I'd ever switch grades or go back to fourth or whatever, but honestly, like, I love third grade. I love teaching kids to like care about school, to like care about the kind of grades they make, to want to put in effort, to be independent. Like, I love being like the first true exposure to all of that, where it's a really big deal. And it was just tough this year. Like, there was a good chunk of the year, maybe like a whole quarter, maybe a little less, that I only had 14 students. But my goodness, it did not feel like that. These needy babies that like constantly had like a question, or constantly just like needed my reassurance or my guidance or like whatever. If you were a teacher this year, no matter what grade level, hopefully you understand what I'm saying. It was just different. And with having 14 students, that put me at the lowest class. So I had literally every single move-in this year. I had several students just not, like, who were on my roster, just not start the school year off with us. I think I started with 16 kiddos. And then I had one just move to a different state. I had one, I think they switched to homeschooling because of the mask mandate. Yeah, so that put me at 14 like early in the year. And usually, typically, when you have children move in the middle of the year, they're not your high-flying students. So all of my move-ins, like I said, love my kiddos dearly, but They were low learners that I had to grab and pull to get them where they needed to be. You know what I mean? Like figuratively, of course, not literally. And a lot were just, like I had so many, a lot were just already too low to even pull to 3rd grade. But I'm happy to say I got 2 children placed in EC this year by the end of the year, and they didn't start in my classroom until January. And for those of you that know the tier process, or if you're a teacher in North Carolina, that is a tough thing to do. It takes a significant amount of data and interventions and all of this extra help and extra support for these children to get them the services that they truly need to succeed. So that was also a challenge because, and I do this every year, I get caught up in those low babies and wanting to help them try to be successful or want to get them the services that they truly need and truly deserve. And my middle babies like get left behind. So that's definitely something I need to work on for the future. But it's tough when you have all these move-ins and your dynamic of your classroom is constantly changing. My classroom is very dynamic this year. Now, granted, I am a loud, like excitable, I don't even know if that's the word. Like the way I teach is just very, it's just a lot. Some people don't like that, but it does rile the students up, but also it gets them excited about learning. Like I can promise you that every single one of my children loved coming to school every single day, and that's really all that matters. They're learning, they're having fun. If we get a little wild, whatever. What does next year look like for you? So next year looks pretty much the same. I'm staying in 3rd grade, staying at my school. Someone asked if I'm staying in the same grade and if my team is changing any. As of right now, everything stays the same. There's 7 of us that teach 3rd grade. It's a powerhouse. It's a lot of opinions, a lot of thoughts, a lot of different experience levels, which is interesting. It's helpful, but it's also like a challenge at times. I mean, granted, if anyone's planning and teaching styles are different, it's always going to be a challenge no matter how many people are on your grade level, but it should be staying the same. I'm looking forward to that because this will be my 5th year in 3rd grade, and I feel like I haven't had that many normal years. So I feel like by the end of this year, everything was finally like normal, regular school, and I'm just excited to just have that next year. Like it's been a long time coming for us. I'm sure you guys are excited for it as well. Missed your videos. Thank you. Please share how your year went, how you're doing, life updates. Holy cow, that's a lot. I feel like I pretty much gave you the gist of my year. It was just a lot of, my classroom was constantly changing. It was filled with boys to begin with who were heavily energized and off the wall. And then with my personality on top of that, our fun run name was Pavensky's Loud House because that's what we were. You know, I'm very proud of my kiddos. They did amazing this year. They all succeeded very well, beating the odds. Love this group so much. They're just so loving, and it was a great year, but it was so much. So I just literally had no other energy to put into anything else. Someone said, where have you been? Struggling, honey. I feel like it's always happened to me every year though. I've been making videos since 2016. No, 2017 I've been making videos. Around the like Christmas time, it's just hard for me to keep going because when we come back, we have check-ins, which are like our benchmarks in North Carolina. We have M-class. We have all the testing we have to do. Plus I had 2 move-ins at that time. So overall this year I had 4 students move out, 5 students move in. Like I said, the dynamic was constantly changing, but it was still always very like high energy. So like it was just a lot. And like mental health wise, I've now been going to therapy weekly for over a year. Oh, I started taking medication a few months ago, but that didn't do very well with that. So I'm still playing around with that, figuring it out this summer. I've been more excited about teaching, but I'm still, and I truly love my job and it's like the only thing that I want to do, but I'm still not back where I want to be, where I'm like thinking of all these new ideas and just like going above and beyond. Like that's me, that's my personality, that's how I want to be in the classroom, and it's not always there. So I'm still working on like gaining that back. So like doing YouTube and Instagram and worrying about all of that on top of it is just too much for me to handle, which is why I needed the break. But also like I don't really love to look at, like there was a lot this year where teachers were resigning, and I don't like to look at that. I need to stay away from the negativity, and like great for them, great if that's what they needed, but, and I mean it happened in my own school. It was just, it was a lot to digest. So I just tried to stay away from like the teacher social media world. I think I have a healthy balance now, hopefully. So let's make that work. Someone said, as a first year teacher this fall, congratulations, that's so exciting. And you're so lucky because you missed the madness. You missed the madness. However, I don't know what grade you're teaching, but the group that's coming into 3rd grade now across the nation is the group that we are most concerned about, at least, which is interesting because I feel like this year's group was a lot, and I think at least since these 2nd grade babies have been in school for a year now, like their socialization that should help with. But these are the kiddos that started kindergarten, then COVID hit the end of their year, then in 1st grade they were remote a majority of the time. So like last year was their first full real year of school where they were in school all the time. So everybody, at least in my school, has been most concerned about this group that's coming to 3rd grade now. I don't know, I'm not as worried. I'm not as worried. I think it'll be okay. Anyway, she said, as a first year teacher this fall, how do I truly feel relaxed and not so overwhelmed? And then she messaged me something else. Hold on, let me take a look at it. Oh, she's teaching 3rd, yay! Your videos have helped ease my feelings. You've been a great inspiration to me as a teacher. See, this is why I need to keep doing this so badly. Like, I feel like in the world of negativity, we need more positivity, and that's just what I want to bring to y'all. I feel like there's all this pressure being a first year teacher. Okay, she wants to know how to feel more relaxed and not so overwhelmed. Honestly, you need to take it day by day. You need to be prepared for an overload of information. Like, it's going to feel like a lot, and it's going to be a lot for a while, but you need to ask questions, ask for help when you need it. Do not be afraid to ask for help, because everybody understands. Like, we've all been in your shoes before. There's no difference. Like, being a first year teacher is just, it's in its own realm. Go in knowing that this year is not going to be perfect, and that's totally going to be okay. Go in knowing you're not going to be able to implement every single cute thing you've ever seen or every amazing strategy you've ever seen on the internet, like whatever. You will not be able to do everything, okay? And don't push yourself to either. Like I said, take it day by day. If there's something neat you wanna try, go in and try it. And I would say constantly reflect. For me, I had a lot of reflection through YouTube. So maybe if you feel okay about putting your stuff out there on the internet, I feel like TikTok is an easy video diary now. And it's a quick place to get instant feedback where you can like ask for suggestions and things if you're needing help somewhere. But there's so much information out there now, and we still get overwhelmed. Like, this is going to be my 7th year, which is insane to say, especially for those of you that have been with me this whole time. Like, we don't have one reading curriculum to follow. We have many different resources, and we're always finding more resources. And even as a 6th year teacher this past year, and even my coworkers who had been teaching much longer than me, if we're not using like what we've used in the past, but we want to try something new, it's still a lot because you have so much to pull from, which is awesome. But it's also like you have to squeeze in little by little. You can't do everything at once. And so it's overwhelming no matter what, but it's fun. Enjoy it. Don't go in wanting to be your student's best friend. Okay, love them, take care of them, be there for them, teach them, but don't, like, my first 2 years, I wanted them to like me so much that there wasn't that level of like respect, which I feel like is normal for first year teachers anyway. But like, What was different about this year is even though my relationships were so overwhelmingly strong, and I feel like these kids are literally my children, I didn't go in wanting to be their best friend. Like, I went in with my fun personality, just wanting to be a teacher and have a great time with my kids and teach them to love learning. And so that's why there was a different outcome. Your relationships will be strong if you show respect to your students, because they'll give it back. They copy exactly what you do. How you speak to another child, they will do the same. So you need to watch and be very careful with your reactions when certain things happen. If your school has a BT program, beginning teacher, I don't know what you'd call it somewhere else, rely on your mentor if you have one. Those meetings, like, have like a notebook or in your phone, like write down whenever you think of something, jot it down. I would also say, like, create a schedule so that you stick to it. Like, at this time, I'm going to do my guided reading groups. At this time, I'm going to do my math rotations, and like have timers set for things. That way they go and it's flowing and the kids get into a routine, because they will expect the same thing every day and they thrive off of a routine. I would be at a loss without my math rotations. Like, they are my favorite thing in this whole world. I'm still working on guided reading. I change it up every year. I'm not a reading teacher. I am such a math teacher. So always learning, but always trying new things. And it's actually the fun part I love about teaching, is that you can like change things up every year. Set timers, but also within those rotations or like station, whatever your kids are doing, make sure you set time for yourself to have a break. I'm very bad about this, and this is something I talk to my therapist a lot about. I'm like, I don't drink water throughout the day. Like, it's hard for me to go to the bathroom. I don't have a break unless my kids have enrichment, which is only 2 days a week, and I'm with them during lunch. It's a lot. But if you're ready to be a teacher, like, you know what to expect, especially because there's so much out there now. Make sure you have that time in your day for yourself. A really good tip that my lead teacher gave me that I still struggle with is you should not be exhausted at the end of the day. The kids should, because they're the ones that should be working. I do have these weird moments too where they're all working independently and I'm not pulling any kids, and it feels wrong to me, but they need their time to work. So don't be afraid to just let them work and then take a look at what they're doing. Like, then help them out. You don't need to be on them constantly. Give them that freedom, give them that space, give yourself that space. That's something that I'll definitely be working on. I think you're going to feel overwhelmed no matter what. Something I did actually, that I can make a whole video on this, I'm sorry, but I haven't talked to y'all in so long, so like I just want to talk. I don't even know if I made a video since I got my teeth fixed. On my first day of school, I make a script, and I don't even know, I might have done it like for the first week when I was initially starting. I wrote out everything that I was going to say, what I was going to pass out, what I needed, and I read through that several times. I literally can make a whole video on this. So leave more questions down below. I'm excited to talk to y'all again. I'm excited to post videos. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me what you want to know. I'm here for y'all, and I'm excited to be back. So yes, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to y'all soon.